So this is for Unit 7.4, Lesson 7. We are going to look at the warm-up first. If x represents a positive number, circle all of the expressions whose value is greater than 1. So if I was finding greater than x, so if I'm finding 7/8 of x, I am finding a smaller amount, so it cannot be a. 9/8 times x is, since the numerator is larger than the denominator, I know I'm multiplying by more than a whole, so B would be an answer here. 1 minus 1/4 is 3/4, so if I was finding 3/4 of a number, it would be less than it was originally worth. And 1 1/4 times x, it gives me itself plus another fourth, so I know it will be greater. Now, for each situation below, decide whether a diagram A or B represents the situation. So last year, they had 100%, and this year, it looks like they have decreased by 15%, because we're taking that away. And in situation B, last year we had 100%, only this time we're adding 15% more because our line has gotten longer. So the amount of apples this year decreased 15% compared to last month. So the only one that's showing a decrease is A. The amount of pears this year is 85% of last year's amount. If I had 100 minus 15, I would be given 85%, which would be A as well. The amount of cherries this year increased by 15% compared to last year's amount. So we're increasing. That means my line is growing. I'm going with B. And the amount of oranges this year is 115%. So 100 plus 15 is 115. We'll go with B again. So, one second. So this time we are looking at, it says Mateo's aunt bought a share of stock many years ago. The value of the stock increased by 80% and its value is now 270. What is the value of the stock when Mateo's aunt bought it? So we would have to find out the amount of change over the original amount, and that's going to give us our percent of change over 100. Now, we don't know the original amount, so let's call the original amount x. So we had the amount of change we got up, so we're going to do 270 minus x over x, and the percent of change was 80 over 100. Now the first thing I can do to kind of figure out this equation is I could change 80 hundredths to a decimal, or I could cross multiply. There's a lot of things I could do here. So let's say we went like this. We cross multiply. I could do 100 times 270, which would give me 2,700 minus 100x, which is equal to 80x. Now I can put my like terms together, so I can add 100x to each side. So I get 2,700 equals 180x. And now I could divide both sides by 180. This would cancel out. And 2,700 divided by 180 is going, I think I was 1 0 off, I'm sorry. Is going to give me 150 was the original stock value. So those are tricky. Let's try another one. What is 18% more than 61? What is 18% more than 61? So what I want to do Let's go back to where I was. Sorry, I'm just bringing up the paper. 18% more than 61. So I could find, so 61 would be my 100%. I could do 118% times 61. Go over once, twice. 1/1800 times 61 is going to give me 71 98/100. 10% more than a number is 132. What is that number? So 10% of a number is 132. So what I can do is change this to a decimal. So 1/10 of x equals 132. So I can divide both sides by 1/10. X is going to equal 132 divided by 1/10. I'm sorry, it should be 1 1/10, which would give me 120, because 10% more than the number, so it should be that you have your number plus 10% more. That was my mistake. Now 140 is what percent less than 160? So this one we can use the amount of change. So we have 160 minus 140. I think our original was a 160 out of 100. So we'd have 20 out of 160 equals 100. So we could have 2/16, which would give us 16x equals 200. What would give me around x equals 12.5%. Determine how many feet Lola's family walked. Lola's pet turtle walked 10 feet, then half that length again. So 10 feet plus half of that is 15. Lola's baby brother walked 3 feet, and then half that length again, which would give you 4.5 feet. Moving on. Lola's hamster, wow, there's a lot of creatures at Lola's house. Lola's hamster walks 6.5 feet and then half that length again. So she walks 6.5, and half of that would be 3.25. So 9.75 feet. Now Lola's mom walked X feet and then half that length again. So that would give her 1 1/2 X feet, or 1 1.5 X feet. We're going to skip over the Explorer because that was a lot of work and it was hard even for me. So I know we had to all work through it. We'll go over it more in class tomorrow. I'm sure there's a lot of questions and we can work through it. Thank you.